Yo, welcome in. Alright, so we got three variants of these guys. The original Ancestral followers, the Shaman, and the Scarlet Rot version that was cut out from the game. So today, I'm gonna cosplay as them from head to toe. From a Pompeii victim to horny. Oh boy, I can finally say this. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. If you never heard about Raid Shadow Legends, you're lying. A free fantasy RPG PvE PvP mobile game that gives you a huge variety of champions to choose. Pick all of these cool badass champions to take on bosses and dungeons. Me, personally, I like champions with AoE attacks like Seal of the Drakes, for example. She has a move called the Wing Beat Flurry that attacks all enemies with a 20% chance to stun them. Or maybe if you're into a good looking one like Minaya. Hey, I'm not judging by the way. She is a support champion that can heal 40% of HP of your allies with the buffs alongside with it. Splendid for your team. Looking into these champions, I just realized all of them are legendary. But worry not, my friend. A new update, Raid Call of the Arbiter, is live now. They introduced a new legendary champion, Artak, a mighty orc warlord. And the best part of this update, you can get him for free. All you have to do is log in into Raid for 7 days between now to 24th July. Now, I'm not lying to you guys when I said I played Raid for quite some time because I already have Artak in my team. He's currently my magnum opus that can obliterate everyone in campaigns and dungeons. With all of these exciting, eye-catching stuffs coming to Raid, you can also get a free starter pack for new players by using my link down below or use the QR code on the screen right now. These are worth 30 bucks and you can get them for free. So, what are you waiting for? Download Raid Shadow Legends now. Thank you Raid for sponsoring this video. Like and subscribe. Just like every cosplay run, we start from zero. By zero, I mean we have to gather our outfit and weapons before fighting a single main boss. I'm going down to Sea of the River right away because this is one of the locations that Ancestral followers resides. We have a lot of things to get and getting them was quite a grind. One Ancestral follower dropped every clothing pieces, fortunately for us. But for the weapons, I have to grind some of them. We'll talk about it later since the outfit is the main priority and as long as I get one weapon, I can just go for the boss right away. Luckily for me, it didn't take too long to get all the outfit and not to mention, the Spectral version also dropped the same stuffs. My first weapon is the jawbone axe. I'll bring this one for Morgott. You know, I haven't played Elden Ring in a while, so I already expected my finger would be very stiff, but I don't really bother with it since the damage from the axe wasn't that bad. Well, at least for a level 1 weapon. I feel like my approach was very cautious. I was afraid of getting hit most of the time, making the fight took very long. And not to mention, I died like a lot, bruh. I'm probably gonna get flamed for being the opposite of Git Good. If you paid attention closely, I didn't two-handed the thing for the sake of authenticity because you know, the original Ancestral follower always had like those weapons with one hand. But don't take my word on this one because it's probably only for this battle. Anyway, I tried using the Ash of War to deal more damage, but it's actually not very effective with this kind of fight. Jump attack might do just well, so I'll land them as many as I can. After a couple deaths, I finally resurrected some fragments of my usual playstyle.
Oh no you don't!
Turning back to Sea of the River, you see those annoying archers with dwelling arrows? The weapon they're using is called the Hornbow, and it's the same location, but we're gonna use this weapon later. Another thing I need to farm is the greathorn hammer. You know, you can only farm specific items from an enemy that is wielding or wearing them. Since the build might become weird later in the game, I still have to focus on strength with these weapons. I went to Kaylee to get Starscorch Heirloom by sneaking past these guards.
Right there.
And another essential talisman is the Green Dog Talisman because I realized using those heavy weapons depleted my stamina pretty fast. So we're strolling around Stormfell Castle and attempting to beat Godrick first try. I'm using the Greathorn Hammer I just got a few hours ago. Remember when I said I want to keep it authentic by keeping it single-handed? Yes, forget about that. I think I did worse in this fight since I was being greedy and my hand reflect was a bit off as well. Because I'm using a great hammer, jump attack is a must to inflict poise damage. Godrick has very wide openings that allows me to land a fat blow with enough time to dodge. Other than me being reckless, the fight was easy. Well, it could be easier, but I still beat him at the end. I was about to joke around beating the game without upgrading my weapon at all, but my skill is far from that level, so let me just take some moment to gather bell bearings and doing various quests at the same time. I still need some runes to use the winged greathorn. Speaking about winged greathorn, that's one of the weapons I have to get, but in order to get my hands on it, and also to reach that specific boss, I have to dive down into Nokron. That means I have to beat Radahn to get access to Nokron. Now this is a tough fight. I know it's better to fight Radahn with long-range projectiles, but since the Crystallian video I made a while ago, I think I found the gist on how to attack him on close range by getting off Torrent. Sure, it does take a while. Not even a while, a couple hours, man, holy shit. But the interesting bit with this fight is, whatever weapon I use, it's gonna have the same result as long as it's melee weapon, so I have to make sure to use those openings as efficient as I can. Fighting Radahn on foot is hard for me, so the best way to pull it off is by triggering a specific move that is comfortable enough for me to land a blow. If I make some distance, he has bigger chance to do the sword slamming where I can land multiple hits. Now, second phase can be a little harder. Not even the second phase, it's just like the part when he starts using magic. So one move that I have to be aware of is the gravity pull. That's it. That's the only thing. Now the problem lays on how fast he pulled that shit. I couldn't dodge it at all, and with that range, even by running away, I will still get hit. With so much HP I currently have, I'm gonna die pretty fast. So, one solution for this is I have to get off Torrent right after he does a single action. Because I don't know when he's gonna do the gravity pull. I will assume it will be right after every move that is not a gravity pull. Does that make any sense? I'm having a hard time explaining this. Nokron is now open for business, so I'll be heading there right away, right after getting jump scared by Runebear and killing a pathetic Mimic tier. So if you're wondering what we're doing in Nokron, here's the list. Number 1. Getting an infant head. This is the Ancestral Shaman's weapon. I need it for the cosplay. Number 2. Lighting up all the fires in the area because we're about to go deer hunting. Number 3. Deer hunting. It's probably a moose, but well, easy fight, but take some time since this motherfucker can heal himself, but at the end, venison served on the table. We have to go back to Round Table Hall to redeem the winged greathorn from the remembrance. With that done, all that's left is the shaman's outfit that will take some hours to get. It actually didn't take too long to gather everything, but for the special headband, I didn't know you can randomly kill any shaman, but it has to be a specific one near the ruins. I wasted a lot of time. Honestly, I like this outfit more, but they give you less protection unfortunately. I thought the infant head was a weapon, but it's a consumable that scales with intelligence. I don't have high intelligence, but some of the Ancestral followers' weapons involve intelligence, so I have to level it up a little bit. I'm turning myself into the Ancestral Shaman. Look at my braids, man. All these stops for a Draconic Tree Sentinel. So I got no weapon. Only an infant head which consumes FP. Let's try this one out. Right, that was terrible. But I think it's doable. It's been a hot minute since I pulled out the hit and run method. But this is the only way to kill him with an infant head. Probably. The blue liquid spreads in short distance, but it stays on the ground for a couple seconds. I have to keep the tree sentinel on spot before the liquid disappears. This might be a little difficult at first, but since fighting him on foot is a lot easier for me nowadays, I think I could keep his attention only for a few seconds. So this is gonna take very long, no doubt, but it will be very satisfying if I can pull it off. I thought everything was going well, but apparently my FP wasn't enough to beat him. It's still a good chunk of HP left, and my option is to level up my mind. Because I don't want to level up just for this fight, I went back to using melee weapons. Just so I don't feel bad about the infant head, I land my last hit with it. Flexing my new weapon inside Lindell. This is the winged greathorn that I redeemed after beating the regular ancestral spirit. It also comes with a unique Ash of War called Soul Stiffer that debuff enemies. I can see a slight damage boost from it, but it doesn't really show any significant differences when fighting bosses. Morgott is where this weapon tested. Godfrey was no problem at all, but for Morgott, I have to be fast and agile, like him.
By King Morgott, last of all kings.
Well, fast wasn't the proper word for my character since this weapon actually has a kinda slow recovery time. It's not that slow to the point where I got difficulty to dodge, but it could mess my timing sometimes. As much as I want to do jump attack every time, it would be much safer if I only land light attack once every opening. Some moves allows me to do jump attack, but it's much more easier on second phase honestly. I don't have any real problem using the winged greathorn and I got him first try. Usually I had my prep session before fighting Morgott, but I was rushing the whole thing this time, so I came back to certain locations to get some things. Claw Talisman to boost jump attacks because I'm gonna do this more. Dragon Crest Talisman for physical damage negations, and the last thing is Magic Scorpion Charm. But in order to acquire this talisman, I have to beat Loretta in Carrier Manor, which is very easy by the way. And also I met Rani, but this time we're gonna focus on Selfish instead. Usually, it's not worth it playing off his long ass quest, but since Magic Scorpion Charm gives benefit to Hornbow, I might need it for future fights. And we are about to fight Fire Giant, so I think it's necessary to pick up the rest of the Somber Stones since Winged Greathorn will be my main weapon. But this doesn't mean I'm not gonna use the rest of the weapons anymore. Anyway, I get my ass kicked by Okina multiple times. I might need some training in Colosseum. I tried to trap him inside the entrance gate, but damn bro, didn't seem to work. So Fire Giant, totally a decent fight for sometimes. But I did mess up by getting too comfortable over landing heavy attack on him. Most of the time I died, I got barbecued to crisp and it pissed me off. He doesn't have any surprise attack to begin with. All of his moves on first phase are very easy to dodge. On top of that, my weapon deals a decent amount of damage, so it shouldn't be a problem at all. Also, I broke his stance a couple times during the fight. On second phase, I think I'm more confident to land some damage on his hands. Usually I just went for his leg. I still do that, but I'm able to go for his hands now. And by doing so, I save some time. My only concern with Fire Giant is the flamethrower. The range is stupidly long, but you can avoid that by circling around him.
Oh no.
Coming up next is the fat and skinny duo. This is where the horn bow comes to play. This bow is kinda different since it scales with dex primarily, but it deals more magic damage. Therefore, the use of dueling arrows is more beneficial with this bow. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And this is also the reason I got the Magic Scorpion charm before. I guess we have to go back to Mohg for a specific merchant that sells infinite amount of dueling arrows. Just a little note, there's gonna be a sanguine noble that keeps his eyes on you whenever you visit the merchants, and honestly, I was unable to kill him. But there is a way to avoid that by quitting the game in front of the merchant. After that, I can shop peacefully. One more thing I got is the Arrow Sting Talisman that raises attack of arrows and bolts. I don't know if this means like physical damage or like damage in general, but let's just get it anyway. Alright, so here's the real shit. I said this before, I prefer fighting Godskin Duo with long range weapon, and we're lucky to have one right now. But I'm also gonna use the Winged Greathorn since I suspect 99 arrows isn't gonna be enough to kill Godskin Duo entirely. Maybe I should have used the jawbone eggs instead for the sake of immersion, but I don't care. So a couple tries to get the hang of it. I would say it's harder than expected. Let's break it down a little bit. At the beginning of the fight, I will be fully using the Winged Greathorn to tease the fat one. Well, maybe sometimes I shot him if I got a chance, but mainly I'm gonna use the Greathorn. I have fought so many Godskin Noble, but I can only attack him safely using melee weapon. There are a few notable openings, and because this weapon deals a good amount of damage every hit, it didn't take too long to reach the second phase. Now, this is when I pull out my horn bow. This bow has a default Ash of War called Mighty Shot. The benefit in this battle, that it deals more damage with Mighty Shot. So when he starts to donut roll, I'm gonna keep using the horn bow. His second phase is very risky, so I have to take advantage of my range of attacks. At the same time, the skinny one has to remain untouched, since his movesets are a little overwhelming to me. And also I have to keep my eyes on him when he throws a fire. The entire fight didn't take that long, but because I died a lot previously, I made me spend around 50 minutes to beat them. All this time, I didn't read Maliketh's name properly. It's not Maliketh, it's Maliketh. On Google, I think both version is acceptable, but looking at the name on the top of the health bar, it's Maliketh. Oh, sorry, Maliketh. Alright, that's it. I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. So, it's Maliketh, one of the boss fight of all time. I can't really say anything other than I brought back the Greathorn Hammer, and I completely used most openings effectively. Except for one. It used to be the easiest opening, but I don't know why. I got hit every time. It doesn't matter actually, as long as I can land jump attacks on his other openings. Second phase, same as usual, Destined Death, and then attack. Other than that, stay passive, make some distance, and wait until he does Destined Death. Boom, easy fight. I've trained a lot with Okina as my mentor before, and I think Gideon fight will be much better. It seems to be the right way to roll catch him, even if I'm still having trouble to pull it off. After a couple deaths, I realized I should have taken advantage of my reach. Wing Greathorn has a long reach and fast recovery time with light attack. I mean, it's not crazy long that you can notice, but at least I can feel the impact in fights like this. Most of Gideon's attacks are devastating and could kill me in one hit, so it's probably the best way to not let him attack at all. But this thing, the triple ring of light, always got me, man. I really hate it. I can easily dodge the first throw, but once they bounce back, it feels hard to adjust my timing, and he also able to cast another spell in between. My next solution is to make use of the pillars. This is by far the most effective method, and I'm also glad these pillars can block the light ring as well. Every time I got hit, I just have to hide behind walls to heal and get back right away. I won. A few more steps for the Elden throne, so Godfrey needs to get over his midlife crisis and get his retirement program instead. To be fair, the fight was really cool in my opinion, I don't know why, but I died a few times because of...
I hate walls!
I might be lucky at some moment, but what makes this fight fair is Godfrey's pattern and his opening. They all solid, and I see some openings that I feel comfortable attacking without having to worry about getting punished. It's also applied in second phase, but I think the window is tighter than before, and I can only land a single light attack before having to back away. Speaking about back away, the most effective way to avoid him is by running away. Just like you ran away from social interactions and responsibilities, you can do that as well to avoid most of his attacks. Well, except his grabs, that's actually the opening. Radahn, gone. Let's go. I just realized when you have a decent weapon, Radahn actually has a lot of openings. I could only sneak one hit every opening, but it's good enough to beat him pretty fast. Slow winded move usually has follow-up attacks afterwards. I still need to be patient. Radahn was not a problem at all. However, I did a lot with Elden Beast. Mostly because I got intimidated by Elden Stars, but I did some stupid shit as well. Elden Beast was supposed to be a quick fight because I thought I'd deal a decent amount of damage, while at the same time, it's easy to break its stance if I keep using heavy or jump attack. But in fact, I only broke his stance once. Most of its attacks are dodgeable, so I don't really worry too much about it, but two things that concerns me are Elden Stars and the Golden Rain. For Elden Stars, as long as I still have time to run away, I can always make a good distance with them, and if I ever get hit by those, it's probably gonna tickle me a little bit. Now for the Golden Rain, the best way to completely dodge them is by taking a loose turn to the side. Well, it's working, but I still got hit by those sometimes. At the end, I survived both attacks and finally able to beat the Golden Bug. Alright, so here's my stats after beating the final boss. I know it's a little weird, but you know something that is not weird? Rage! Okay, I'll stop. It's not even funny anymore. Yeah, we shall go for some remembrance bosses, but not all of them. It seems that I use charge attacks more often than jump attack, so I decided to get Aegis Talisman, and because we're going for Mohg, I also need to pay Eleonora a visit.
Hello, motherfucker.
Actually, I don't really need the crystal tear as long as I have enough last, but without realizing, I'm already at the church. So the fight was inevitable and I bonked her so hard until she died. Mohg's fight wasn't as crazy as I expected. I would say using Wing Greathorn was an easier choice for the fight. The damage was more than decent and to see Mohg's opening are pretty wide, especially when he splashes the widespread blood. Slow-winded attack from him was also a good chance for me to bonk him. That might also broke his stance if I was lucky. Whenever he starts counting in Latin, yes, I know it's not Spanish. He usually chants the spell once and that's a good opportunity to charge attack as well. This also works for me to land multiple hits before entering his second phase. Now everything is just the same as what I usually do. I have to keep close and stay away from the blood trails. Since most of his attacks now has follow-ups, it's better to play it safe by using light attack. But you know, sometimes there's still a chance for heavy or jump attacks if I want to. But yeah, honestly the fight was okay. I just hope the Soul Stiffer has more effects, but I just stopped using it because it's not worth it. Well, I guess I'm gonna go for one more Remembrance bosses and of course it's Malenia. Got both Medallion, one of them, because the other one we have to beat up the old man. I wanna give Soul Stiffer a try, and I can see a tiny little bit of effect out of it. But yeah, even without it, it won't change anything. And as usual, I'll only have a few combos and it will be very repetitive. Road to Malenia. It is as peace as usual. You might not believe this, but this is the first time ever for me to get my ass handed to Loretta. Most of the time the unfortunate happened because my brain went goo goo gaga at the crucial moment. Almost forgot to mention, I brought back my jawbone aches and my hornbow on my back. I don't use the hornbow because using the aches solely is enough. After fighting Loretta multiple times, I feel a bit unsure when is the specific opening for her. I saw most of her attacks has one more follow-ups, so right after she is done with the moveset, I just land a jump attack or a light one if I was a bit late. Sometimes it worked, but sometimes I get punished. Anyway, I beat her ass at the end of the day. So we're moving to Malenia right away. My brain is fried. Okay, I'm ready. So here's the plan. I use the jawbone axe because it's the fastest weapon out of the others. If you have speed, you have the advantage in the battlefield. Second weapon is the hornbow. Because second phase Malenia will have some moments where she is immobile after using Scarlet Aeonia. That's a really good theory, right? In practical session, it didn't go smoothly. Actually, I almost never died on first phase. Everything went well, even though I got hit a bit and I couldn't dodge waterfowl dance perfectly, but I did bypass the first phase. Every openings available allows me to land heavy attacks and even jump attacks, so I can maximize my damage. Now, second phase, I did little oopsies here and there, but my point is, she's gonna do a lot of Scarlet Aeonia, so instead of wasting my time and wait for her recovery, I mighty shotted that bitch whenever I can. For a regular fight, most of the time, jump attack is utilized, because at this moment, the only time I can land some damage on her is when she does the Scarlet Explosion like this. Other openings are too risky because she can fake certain moves that might fool me sometimes. But I'm glad I'm using the jawbone eggs. My reaction time was faster than her, therefore I beat her ass. This is by far the fastest Malenia fight I had, less than an hour. Alright guys, that sums up everything. What do you guys think about the Ancestral followers? For me, I really like the drip and the infant hat, but it's for the fashion soul purposes. In terms of battle, I might pick something else. Well, I hope you enjoyed the whole journey. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to download Raid Shadow Legends using the link below. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.